Hello. I'm talking to you through a camera. It's my, and also through a microphone, because it is my theory that the camera amplifies the face in a similar way that the microphone amplifies the body. No, the voice. One of those. So let's first of all give yourselves a round of applause simply for being here. And yes, because you never get a singer who would go, I'm going to sing a song now. Would you hold the microphone and move it around where you think is appropriate? So I think the performer should speak through a camera. And what I'm going to attempt to do is entertain you. What I'd like to do is entertain Ian Hamilton Finlay, but he's no longer with us. But I would like to entertain him through you as a lens. It's not going to work, but that's no reason not to try. So I've got some bits of his poems. I'm going to attempt a recreation of his Carrier Strike. But I'd just like to start off by doing a version of the opening to my show, because what I make is a live film, which I call a file. And I've got a looper. I shall just film this. So I start off with a bit of a beat. Not that one. I start again. Ik ben een filemaker, ja. Ja. Non is de filmmaker, na. Banana. 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 Chemical. I'll clip your ear with my non sequiturs. It's worked better than that before. File macker. Coming at ya like a laser beam, like horses and cream, like a side bream, all right, sardine. A margarine. Pistachios, anyone? They're like pistachios, but not as good. European. Nah, mate, I'm just standing here. The Greeks, they love a bit of austerity. Don't they? I don't know what they're complaining about, the Greeks, they love austerity. Oh, no, that's the Spartans. So yes, art. Yes, I did a show a few years ago and it got reviewed, and the review described, I say many are willing to suffer through art, few are willing to learn to draw. Ian Hamilton Finlay not only learned to draw, he learned to sculpt and carve and all sorts of things and do gardening. He was a poet. At school I came second in a poetry competition and the prize was a box of paints. Sends out a slightly confusing message to the child. Well done, give up. They can't stop me. So I'll do a couple of my poems and I'm going to perform one of Ian Hamilton Finlay's poems. I think that's the sort of thing I'm going to do. I'm just telling you what I'm going to do. Good. Poem. There was no early or late when we were swinging on the gate. There was time before time intervened. And it dawned on us with delight, all words rhyme with themselves at least. And we were singing and we were swinging and Dad came out and told us to stop that immediately. When I was young there were no mobile phones and your time was your own, except when you were at home and the phone rang. Because they didn't have answer phones either, they used children instead. So this is a historic first, and this is the first time that a performer is able to do a show and watch it themselves at the same time. Pretty good. And it's also the first time in history that you, the audience, are able to shout at a screen and it can hear you. Do feel free to avail yourselves of that privilege. So now I'm bringing over Ian Hamilton Finlay's selected works, in which there is some nice poems. I'm going to read one out. It was a very short one, which I liked. Ah, so that is why. Oh, why did the fishermen wear dark woolly jerseys? It is to wipe their pens on, my dear. I like that, and it's short. Now, I've now discovered the classic problem of not having as many hands as I imagined I did. I did a show in this very city a few years ago which got reviewed, and the review described my show as the closest comedy gets to modern art. And I was flattered for a minute. I thought, that's very nice, closest. I put that on a poster. And I thought, what do you mean closest comedy gets to art? You mean comedy can't be art? Right, the situation isn't this, right, with comedy and art and some sort of overlap. The situation isn't this, but this. And I know what you're thinking, whoa. Say that's comedy and that's art, right, and my show was just banging its head against this wall. A long way from the middle, like funny comedy. Almost not comedy at all, but not art. And even if it made that impossible leap and was somehow categorised as art, what category of art would it be in? It'd be in the category of shit art. Art that is perilously near being comedy. Those doomed to repeat the lessons of history are history teachers. And now, an imagined... This is a rural man, Mr. Ian. So in his honour, I shall perform an imagined conversation between two trees in winter. I see you're deciduous. What of it? Well, I couldn't bear it myself, all bare and sticky. I don't mind. I feel coiled, poised, ready for spring and invisible to the wind. Couldn't stand it myself, all bare and sticky. I mean, you look on the indistinguishable from dead side. Well, you're deciduous as well, or didn't you know? I am not deciduous. Oh, yes, you are. If I am deciduous, how do you account for this glorious green foliage that decorates my every branch? Has no one told you? You've got ivy. One for the rural people. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to recreate or do a modern take on his wonderful film Carrier Strike from 1977. Here we go. Yep, that's the modern Royal Navy. No planes. Well, it's not as good as the original, but it is in colour. See, I thought that was much funnier than you did. Because, you know, there's carriers but no planes. It's in the news. That's the end. How'd it go? I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much for coming.